What a do, guys? It is your boy, Mr. Cursed Content here. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I was gone for like 6 months, and yes, it was for a stupid reason, and so let's not dwell on that, and let's continue this video. Over the course of Robloxian history, there have been many popular games. You may be familiar with these games, such as Natural Disaster Survival, Arsenal, and Phantom Forces. But today, we're going to talk about a different group of games. Rogue Lineage, Deepwoken, and Grand Peace Online, as well as other games, fall within this genre. To be honest, I could not find a solid name for the genre that these games belong to. Some people call it bandit beaters, and some even call it Soulsborne type games. But the only name that showed up when I googled it was Hardcore Fantasy PvP/PvE. So that's what we're gonna have to go with. So let's not beat around the bush and let's get into this. Let's kick this video off with Rogue Lineage. Out of all these games, this one stands out the most to me. It is the first one I've played, and it is also the least forgiving. I'd argue that this game has the most problems as well. First of all, the progression system is ass. It could take you hours to get a superclass, and with the potential to thrive or fall solely based on luck, there is a reason that this game is so damn controversial. The race system in this game is also very shitty and unbalanced, with some races giving you little to no abilities and other races making you capable of stealing other people's lives to replenish your own, which might not sound that significant, but in this game you only start with 3 lives, and the only way to obtain more lives is to find an artifact that has like a 1 in 10,000 chance of spawning or something like that. So that's pretty good for a racial boost. And the amount of hackers in this game is so shit. If you are a freshie just starting your progression, do not be surprised if a hacker comes out of nowhere and back attaches you just to kill you out of boredom. However, there are of course things about Rogue Lineage that I did like, and of course there have to be, because why would this game be so popular? Exploring in Rogue Lineage felt so much more fun than exploring in other games. The map Rogue Lineage has, specifically Gaia, has a certain charm to it. It's a very large map, but it's simple, fun, and for some reason always feels different even when you've re-entered an area that you've been in 1,000 times. So despite how booty cheeks this game was, it will always have a special place in my heart. But honestly, I should be putting that special place in my left nut because this game has traumatized me. Unfortunately, the vast realm ended up being a flop. From what I was able to gather, a bunch of devs started beefing with each other and the game got griefed somehow. But it had a lot of potential. It was able to fix so many of the issues that Rogue Lineage had, such as the racial imbalance and the anti-cheat, and I loved their combat system. There is no game that I've played in Roblox that had a better combat system than the vast realm. And sure, the world was small, but it was still really fun to explore the places that did exist. And death, despite being consequential like Rogue Lineage, was not nearly as bad because getting your life back was actually a lot easier. One of the problems I did have with this game was the fact that all of the enemies were humanoid, so fighting bosses felt very monotonous. But the magic of this game came when the all-out house wars happened. See, I used to be in a house called Storm, in which we participated in all of these house wars. As a matter of fact, I have content on this channel with the house Storm if you go and check my Deepwoken video that I made a few months ago. They were in this video, so shout out to Storm. Inuyasha Ganks, I'll leave your channel in the description. I haven't seen you in a while, but what's good? The vibe created from this experience was immaculate, and it is very hard to replicate. So despite all the problems I had with this game, I loved it more than Rogue Lineage. This will not be stored in my right nut, because this deserves the special place that belongs to my heart. Alright, so for this section of the video, I'm going to link these two games together, because I didn't play these games that much, so we could consider these like honorable mentions. So from what I understood, Cameo Game 2 was a Rogue Lineage game, but with a different map. It had the same exact movesets, same clothing, and same races. Of course, it was a lot less polished than Rogue, but it was polished enough for me to include in this video, so it gets my acknowledgement, but not my love, because it didn't feel like anything new. Nothing seemed special about Cameo Game. Now, Wanderers of the Wasteland, it seemed like a hybrid of Rogue Lineage and Vast. I actually enjoyed this game a lot, but I never got to progress that far. But from what I've seen, it feels balanced, has nice combat, and has cool races. So this game has that Rogue Lineage type vibe, but everything about it is a bit different. And I really like that. But there is one problem with this game, and it's that it's dead. As I'm making this video, there are 0 players on the game, so this game has completely died out, so you won't be able to play this with anyone. Unless you have your friend play it with you, but there's no fun in that if there's not a bunch of people in the server. So, these games, you get my acknowledgement, but I'm sad that Wanderers of the Wasteland had to be a flop because that game had potential. Epsilon Lineage 2. I absolutely love this game. I cannot stress it enough. It is exactly like Rogue Lineage with the same map, same races, but with an accelerated progression system, more new races, more new classes, and a bunch of new locations. This game is entirely built off of Rogue Lineage, however, the new content makes this feel like Rogue Lineage Season 2. The only issue that I have with this game is that they remove things like Howlers, Z-Screams, and Shriekers. You can still fight these NPCs, bosses, or enemies, but within a boss fight layout. Another issue I have with the game is that I would argue that the progression system in this game is actually a bit too fast. So I think if they could slow down the progression system and add back simple enemies, this game could be a lot better. But I still love this game, and I would totally recommend this to anybody that doesn't want to buy Rogue Lineage but wants to have a similar experience. Alright, here we are. Deepwoken, one of the largest games on Roblox, and with the release of Verse 2, it has become even larger. So first of all, I have to say, this game is absolutely fire. The mechanic of finding an artifact to refill your life has been completely thrown down the shitter and has been replaced by leveling up to refill your life. I also love the concept of a deep, a limbo where if you die too many times, you have to fight your way back out to bring your soul into the real world. It's a great concept. It seemed to work great in theory, and it works great in practice. House wars are also fun. I did house wars with my old house Storm, and boss fights were amazing, and sailing was absolutely terrifying. You never knew when you were gonna encounter a Kaido, so you'd always be on the verge of shitting your pants. I don't like how long it took to sail from one island to another, but that's nothing compared to the next game that I'm about to bring up. Another issue is the lag. The lag is very bad, and this is a parry-based game, so your ping or your lag can determine if you win or lose a fight against a player. So this is one of the biggest problems I've had with it, and I haven't played this game in a while, but I'm really hoping that they fix it because this issue is a real pain in your ass. Why did I say ass like that? I meant ass. So especially when you have to time your parries, ping is important. So go check out Deepwoken. It's worth the 500 Robux. Grand Peace Online breaks a trend that all of these games follow, and that's the concept of permadeath. Sure, Deepwoken left behind the idea of finding an artifact to refill your life, but permadeath was still within that game's core. The only consequences of death in GPO is a loss of money and a lowering of your bounty. This game also has racial advantages, but compared to the games prior on the list, they are very minimal. The only real advantages come from the consumption of devil fruits, which anybody can attain, regardless of race. Progression is also kind of a pain in the ass and it's kind of boring, but once you get to the second sea, it has a much less farm-like progression style. When fighting bosses or other people, it's actually really fun. The combat system reminds me of Vast a little bit, so I might be a bit biased because of that. Battle Royale is a nice thing to do if you want to kill time or farm for devil fruits. There's also dungeons, but that's just kinda ass, so I'd avoid it. I'd say for this game, it's fun to experiment with weapons and devil fruits and different combat styles and combine them to make new classes. So I would definitely say Grand Peace Online is a good game. I think all of these games that I listed deserve recognition. Roblox needs more games like this. The progression system in these games and the combat is unlike any other genre of games on Roblox or anywhere else basically. Also, if you know any other roguelike Roblox games, or not even Roblox games, regular games, make sure to comment them below and I'll definitely check it out. Also, all the games that I've listed are linked below so you guys can try it out. And you better be prepared for more videos soon because I'm back and I'm here to stay this time. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Adios.